How much sleep do you get on average per night?
I think I go on average for like 4 hours of sleep.
About like 7 hours.
For the average night, I usually get somewhere between 5 to 7 hours of sleep.
Like 7 to 8 hours.
I probably get about 6 hours or so.
What do you think the average amount of sleep is for students at our school?
I think the average hours of sleep is probably like 8 hours.
I feel like from like a range of 6 to 8 hours.
Probably somewhere around 7.
Students at our school, it should be like 9 to 10 at most, but I think a lot of people get like 5 to at least 8.
I think it varies so much. I think that some people probably sleep like 12 hours and others sleep like 2. So I think it really ranges. I teach a lot of, I teach AP classes, and I think they probably average anywhere from like 4 to 7. They sleep less. They have a lot of work to do, and they're involved in a lot of things. So.
How does lack of sleep affect you?
Lack of sleep, it makes me tired during class, and it makes me harder to focus.
I get like really tired during class and like have to keep myself from falling asleep.
You can just edit out my blankness. Sleepiness and inattentiveness.
Just a lot of schoolwork, a lot of pressure. Like lack of sleep can have you to have like a lot of headaches, migraines, and like just like a lot of depression.
Ooh, I don't allow it to affect me too much. I usually can power through pretty well, but it affects people in different ways. I definitely don't think as sharp, and I fumble things. I'm not as clear-headed, but I think that a lot of people are affected by it. They get higher anxiety, or they're more emotional, and it's harder to cope with things. But yeah, it affects people in different ways.
Do you think our school is properly addressing sleep deprivation? And will the later start next year actually help?
It might help some students, but for other students it might make things harder for them at home.
School really doesn't like do anything to address sleep deprivation. It's not really a topic that comes up. And I think for certain students next year, the late start will definitely benefit them since they can't get it at home when they wake up early.
I feel like they're still trying to actively do something about that, but I feel like it could always be more. I think it will. I think that that extra amount of time would help people get more sleep in.
I don't think any of them really care, because they expect us to have at most 10 or 11 hours of sleep, at least like 8 to 9, but they're not really specific, and really don't like come encounter with students on like how much sleep they get and like take it for granted.
I think that slowly they're becoming, as a whole school, we're becoming more aware of it. I think that we could do a lot more, but the first step of being aware that our students aren't sleeping enough is definitely a step in the right direction, but there's a lot more that we should be addressing. Ooh, in some ways, yes. I don't know that it'll help with the amount of hours of sleep. I think that we'll start later, so students may stay up later, and so in terms of the average length of sleep, it may not help. But I do know, because of circadian rhythm, teenagers in general have a slightly delayed circadian rhythm. So their alertness and their time that they can focus the best doesn't start until later than adults and children. So it might help. It may not help with the length of sleep or duration of sleep, but it probably will help in terms of their focus and their alertness in class time.
Why do you think students choose not to sleep?
I think students are just distracted, or just don't want to sleep in general.
Honestly, they're probably just messing around. Either that, or like they have to stay up to do like schoolwork.
Better things to do, or just not being able to fall asleep.
Students choose not to sleep because they have a lot of friends, they have like a lot of drama, they're mostly on their phones a lot, but like phones are also really cool to like keep in touch with a lot of friends, or they just have a lot of friends and they just need stuff to talk about, and they just can't sleep because they have like really bad nightmares.
I think it's just because they have a lot to do. They have a lot on their mind. I think that being in high school there's a lot on your shoulders. So both academics, of course, there's a lot of work to get done, but then you get wired after you do your homework, or you just have a lot going on emotionally, and a lot of your people are involved in things, so by the time they get home, they get stuff done, and they try and spend some time with their family and friends. It's just a lot. I don't know that it's a choice to get less sleep. It's just a choice to prioritize life, which I can't blame them for that, but it is definitely detrimental to can be detrimental to their health, both physical and mental, if they're not getting rest.